The NFL season is right around the corner, with opening night being under 1 week away, and of course one of the teams receiving the most hype heading into the year is the Philadelphia Eagles, as after coming off an incredible season last year in which they fell just short of their ultimate goal of a Super Bowl title, they seem poised to come back and make a run at it once again, even though things may look a bit different this time around, as there are some new faces with the Birds this year that are going to look to come in right away and make a big impact in their first year with the team, and one of those guys looks like he is poised to do exactly that, as throughout this entire offseason, whether it be OTAs, training camp, and joint practices, or the preseason, this one player has been extremely impressive. And that is none other than rookie defensive tackle Jalen Carter, and from the way it sounds now, Carter could be getting ready for what many fans, media members, and Eagles players expect to be an incredible rookie season. And if these expectations come true, then the entire NFL should be afraid. So we're going to talk about all that in this video today, so let's not waste any time and get straight into it. So heading into the 2023 NFL Draft, everyone knew that Jalen Carter was easily one of the most talented prospects in the class, with some even dubbing him as the best player in the draft, meaning that a lot of people thought that he should go number 1 overall. However, we know that during the draft process, about everything that could have gone wrong for Jalen Carter did go wrong, with the most notable thing being his connection to a tragic car accident that occurred in January of 2023 that took the lives of Georgia offensive lineman Devin Willock and recruiting analyst Chandler LaCroix. Rest in peace to them both. But Carter was allegedly racing them when the vehicle crashed, so he was then charged with reckless driving and racing. He pled no contest to the charges and was sentenced to no jail time, but he was sentenced to 12 months on probation. Now I must make it clear, Carter did not cause the accident, but still it was a big mistake and something he's going to have to learn from moving forward. And now, not only was Carter still mourning the loss of his friends, but his draft stock had also taken a huge hit because of this incident, and teams around the league may have started to get a negative perception of Jalen Carter as a result of this. Then add on the fact that Carter showed up to his Georgia Pro Day out of shape, as he was apparently 9 pounds heavier than he was just 2 weeks prior at the Combine, and he was slowly starting to move down draft boards in the weeks and months leading up to the draft. And I mean, leading up to it, we had multiple reports saying that a few teams had actually taken Carter off their draft boards entirely. So at this point, it was looking like Carter, who was once potentially going to go first overall in this draft, was destined to slip. And that's exactly what happened, as we got past the first 8 selections with no team calling Carter's name. But then we all know what happened from there. The Eagles saw their opportunity to get arguably the best player in the draft, and they took it, as they traded the 10th overall pick and a 2024 4th rounder to the Bears to move up to number 9 overall, and they selected none other than Jalen Carter with the 9th pick. And this was probably the best possible scenario for Jalen Carter, as for one, he's now surrounded by a ton of his former Georgia teammates, and he also has the benefit of having plenty of veteran leaders on the defensive line and in the locker room to learn from on and off the field. Plus, the Eagles' culture is just overall one of the best in the entire league, so it really was a phenomenal situation for Carter to step into to not just help him succeed on the field, but also succeed off of it. But for the Eagles, I mean, that just gives a team that was just in the Super Bowl last year arguably the best overall prospect in the entire draft, and a potential future star. And so far from what's transpired since the draft, it's already looking like this is going to turn out to be a huge mistake by the rest of the league. As ever since Jalen Carter has gotten to Philadelphia, he has done nothing but impress, and that started in rookie minicamp and OTAs, as not only did a story come out in which Eagles insider Dave Spadaro said that Jalen Carter broke a blocking sled during practice that got a lot of people really hyped up. Now, the legitimacy to this story is a little in question after Spadaro walked his comments back, saying that he was just exaggerating because he was excited, and the comments weren't meant to be taken literally, although I don't really know how else they were supposed to be taken, so I don't know, maybe that happened, maybe it didn't, but regardless, Carter's showings during practice at least got Spadaro excited enough to say that, so that at least has to mean something. But Spadaro and the fans weren't the only ones who were impressed, as Carter had begun to catch the eye of his teammates as well, beginning with Josh Sweat, who was asked about both Carter and his fellow Georgia Bulldog and first-round pick Nolan Smith, and Sweat praised both of their work ethics, saying that their work ethic is crazy and that they're already professionals coming out of college. So that was great to hear, and those comments also went a long way in helping to debunk any sort of questions regarding Jalen Carter's work ethic and commitment following his blunder during his Georgia Pro Day. And as far as Carter's supposed character concerns go, it seems like those may not be an issue at all, as not only have multiple of his teammates vouched for him, including fellow former Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean, as he said, quote, "I know him to be a great kid. All the critics and everybody in the media trying to claim him to be a bad guy, it's just crazy to me, but I'm happy for him and I'm ready for him to get to Philly so we can work." But other members of the Eagles organization have vouched for him as well, including head coach Nick Sirianni and general manager Howie Roseman, as he famously stuck up for Carter during a press conference after drafting him.
I'm a ability.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair, Ruben. You just said that. I mean, what do you want him to talk about? An active investigation at that time? I mean, at the end of the day, he just got drafted. You're being overly critical of a kid who's trying to enjoy the best night of his life.
So overall, Carter seemingly made a great first impression in his first few months as an Eagle, both on and off the field. And that only continued into training camp as he began that on a very high note, getting a sack on Jalen Hurts during the very first practice of camp while he was getting second team reps. And after practice, Eagles legend Jason Kelce was asked if there were any early standouts in camp, and while he didn't outright say Jalen Carter was that guy, he did allude to it, as he said that he didn't want to name any standouts, but he did mention Carter's name anyway, so it was definitely a great first day of training camp for Jalen Carter, and then he continued to flash throughout the entire rest of training camp, as on the second day, he had a play where he was double teamed and he ended up pushing over both blockers. Then a little later in camp, he had a play where he was able to beat Eagles All-Pro right tackle Lane Johnson, you know, the guy who has the longest streak of games in NFL history without allowing a sack, and that streak is still going, by the way. Carter beat him on a play where he got up and under Lane and pushed him back to blow up DeAndre Swift in the backfield. And then moving on in the Eagles joint practices, he shined some more, as in the first joint practice with the Browns, Carter recorded 2 sacks, a tackle for loss, a fumble recovery, and a QB hit that led to an interception. Then on the second day versus the Browns, he got the best of another All-Pro in Browns guard Joel Bitonio, as Carter apparently pushed him onto his back. And really throughout the rest of camp, all Carter did was continue to get better, he continued to make plays, and he continued to seemingly earn a bigger role as he got a lot more first team reps as camp went on. And it even had Eagles reporter Elliot Shore-Parks saying that Carter has essentially earned himself a starter type of role, as he said, quote, "Jalen Carter is basically a starter now. He might not be week 1, snap 1, but he is very clearly going to get plenty of snaps compared to other DTs. So it really does sound like Carter could potentially be in line to having a huge role in 2023, which he earned by going out in training camp and showcasing his insane skill and his crazy potential. And Eagles reporter John McMullen took note of that potential as he made a claim that Jalen Carter is the most talented defensive tackle since Aaron Donald, which I mean, that's about as high of praise as you can possibly receive when you're a defensive tackle. I mean, Aaron Donald is one of the greatest defensive players of all time, with 3 Defensive Player of the Years to his resume and a Super Bowl, so being compared to him is some crazy high praise. And the praise for Carter doesn't stop there, as there were so many more instances of his teammates doing just that. So don't worry, we're going to get to that in just a minute, but real quick here, I want to say, if you are enjoying this video and want to see others like it coming in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Around 80% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed. If you're one of those people, you've been consistently watching the videos, you're enjoying them, and you love the Philadelphia Eagles, make sure you fix that right now. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss when any other videos are uploaded in the future. And also, make sure you subscribe to the second channel, Philly Fan 21 Productions, so you don't miss when I drop my Eagles hype video for the upcoming season. That video will be out very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that. I think that would be a win-win for the both of us. Now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. Now, I haven't even gotten to what Jalen Carter did in the preseason yet, which, even though it was an incredibly small sample size, Carter still found a way to impress, as he played just 9 snaps throughout the entire preseason, but he got the second highest PFF grade among rookies at 91.4, and he also almost got a sack on his very first NFL snap versus the Ravens, getting just the QB hit instead. So his performance in the preseason really only contributed to what was already an incredible summer for Jalen Carter, and I mean, like I said, really ever since he got to Philly, Carter has been impressing everyone, most notably his Eagles teammates. And that includes some of the leaders and franchise legends like Fletcher Cox, who in the middle of camp said that Carter, quote, probably should have been the #1 pick in the draft. And in addition to that, he also had some other very exciting comments regarding Carter.
I mean, the biggest thing is just seeing him, go out and destroy people, and being a pro. He's, like I said, he's soaking that up, and he's learning each day. The technique and how to take care of himself, the importance of the things that's on the field that need to be taken care of on the field. Being smart, making smart decisions, while you're on the field, knowing the playbook, which I think he got a pretty good handle on the scheme wise and what the coaches expect of him. And now it's up to him to go out and and execute on the field and ball out.
Now this is obviously awesome to hear, but again, this is not even close to all the praise that Carter received from his teammates. Now every year, The Athletic conducts a survey during training camp where they ask as many Eagles players as possible one question, and the question is, if you had to pick one teammate who was primed for a big season, who would it be? And this year, the winner was guess who? Jalen Carter, who received 30% of the vote, which is the highest percentage of the vote that any player has gotten in the history of the survey. Now, some of the people that selected Carter included franchise legend Brandon Graham, star tight end Dallas Goedert, new running back DeAndre Swift, left tackle Jordan Mailata, superstar wide receiver A.J. Brown, new safety Terrell Edmunds, and even more, including Lane Johnson, who had some of the highest praise for Carter of anybody.
He's a guy that
If you're playing high, he'll get the best of you. He plays very low. He's very strong, and he's very quick, lateral quickness. So, he's made a lot of people look silly in camp so far. But, yeah, man, I've been very impressed with him from day one. I think he has tremendous talent, ability, and he plays hard. I mean, he's kind of similar to Hargrave with just, his pass rush ability. But I'm trying to think of somebody inside. He's bigger than the Geno Atkins, but pretty twitchy, man. He's like, he's 6'3", 320. So he's like a bigger Geno, I would say. But yeah, man, he's impressive. He's impressed me.
Now, for you to be compared to a player as dominant as Geno Atkins, I mean, this guy was a 3-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, and a member of the 2010s All-Decade team by a future Hall of Famer in Lane Johnson. That's about as high of praise as you can possibly get. Although new Eagles running back Rashaad Penny tried to top it, as he also listed Carter as the teammate most likely to have a huge season, as he said, quote, "But if I just had to say anybody, I mean Jalen Carter. I've never seen anything like that since playing against Aaron Donald. He's got the intangibles for sure." I mean, another Aaron Donald comparison? This is just getting ridiculous at this point. But no, we're not done. The praise still does not stop there, as Big Play Slay gave some more props to Carter while also potentially giving him his nickname in this clip from Slay's own podcast.
Buddy is strong, man. I'm not going to compare him to who I want to compare him to, but I've been around a lot of great D tackles. I've been around Sue, Loli Nada, Fletcher Cox himself, Javon Hargrave. I've been around a great group of guys that play the D tackle, man, and I'm trying to tell you here, Jalen Carter, man, this kid is just very, very dominant, man. He's very physical, quicker than what you think, and stronger than how he look. You know what I'm saying? So he look like a baby rhino. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen a baby rhino and then you just, man, he crazy, and I'm talking about he pushing folks back, man.
Now again, you love to hear more praise from Carter coming from his teammates, and I also love the nickname Baby Rhino, and apparently so does Brandon Graham.
I'm loving the name Baby Rhino because that boy is, man, he is a ram. And if you get it all the way in shape and be able to go all the time, man, he definitely gonna have people not want to see him every week.
I mean, dude, at a certain point, you just gotta wonder when the praise gets to be too much. I mean, I can't remember any other Eagles player getting hyped up as much before a season as Jalen Carter has been this year, let alone a rookie. I mean, this guy hasn't even played a game yet, but he's already showed enough to cause this much excitement. And I mean, man, I love it. And if Carter's able to live up to this crazy hype, then the NFL should be afraid. I mean, all the people doubting the Eagles heading into this year cite free agency losses as a possible reason that they'll have a Super Bowl hangover, and easily one of the biggest one of those free agency losses was defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, who had 11 sacks for the Birds last year. But the thing is, that loss might not even matter because one, the Eagles got Jordan Davis, who's primed for a breakout season of his own, but then you got Jalen Carter, who even if he doesn't technically start, will still have a big role for this team, and if he lives up to the hype, that's a scary, scary thing for the rest of the league. I mean, first off, if he dominates right away, he'll surely earn himself a bigger and bigger role as the year goes on, but then you gotta think about the defensive line that he's a part of. I mean, it's freaking stacked. They got so many guys who could just take over a game, and the thing is, Carter's a rookie, so even with all this hype, there's definitely guys on that defensive line that are going to get more attention than him to start off with. And then say he does get to the point where he has to be doubled consistently, then you got guys like Hassan Reddick and many others who will only benefit from that and take advantage of those opportunities. I mean, if Carter meets the crazy expectations being put on him, defenses are going to have to key in on him a little bit more, making it easier for the other guys. And I mean, just recently, Carter was projected to win both Defensive Rookie of the Year and to get double-digit sacks in his rookie year. And you know who the last Eagles rookie to do that was? Reggie White. This guy is drawing comparisons to Reggie White. I mean, to the quarterbacks on the Eagles' schedule this year, are you scared yet? I feel like you kind of should be. I personally think Carter is going to be amazing. I'm all the way bought in. I think he's going to have a fantastic rookie season, and I just cannot wait for it to kick off. I'm just so excited to see what Carter is able to do this year and moving into the future after that. But what do you guys think? Will Jalen Carter live up to the hype? How good of a rookie season will he have? Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments, and also, if you did enjoy this video and don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage coming throughout this entire regular season and hopefully into the playoffs, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications again so you don't miss when any other videos are uploaded, and also drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, and also again, subscribe to the second channel, PhillyFan21 Productions, so you don't miss when I drop my Eagles hype video or any other future Eagles and Sixers hype videos coming after that. And also, if you want to watch another video video going over some of the Eagles' most recent roster moves, you can go watch it right here. Now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.